Alright, imagine this. An orc warboss, big, green, and brutal, finds himself thrown into the gladiatorial pits of Kamara, the dark city of the Drukhari. These aliens stand as the spikiest and sneakiest and most sadistic gits throughout the galaxy. Now, here's the twist. Ufthak Blackhawk isn't just smashing heads like a typical orc. Oh no, he's thinking. Yep, you heard me right. An orc using his brain. Despite these mental activities, he shows very strong dislike for them. Thinking is not his style. Ufthak faces difficulties with his attempts to design plans alongside using schemes because these enjoyments conflict directly with orc ways. A transformation seems to be taking place inside him. He's growing smarter, more ambitious. Can Ufthak Blackhawk defeat an Archon who is ready to destroy her own city just to capture him? Stick around to find out how Ufthak turns cunning into carnage.
How does an orc even end up in Kamara? The entire orc nature revolves around destroying objects while yelling, "Wah!"
Oh, absolutely. Orcs live for fighting and looting, it's their whole deal. But Ufthak Blackhawk? His story starts way before he ever set foot in the Dark City. Back then, he wasn't even a war boss yet, just a boy in Boss Badget Snazhammer's mob. You should know he caused problems even before he ever reached Kamara.
What kind of trouble?
Well, Ufthak had this habit of claiming he was Snazhammer's second in command. Problem was, another boy named Mogrot Redtooth wanted that spot too. The two of them were constantly butting heads, literally, and their rivalry only got worse when Da Mechlord, their big boss, sent them on a mission to board an Adeptus Mechanicus ship.
Mechanicus? The Adeptus Mechanicus? The half-mechanical guardians of Mars?
Exactly! The task involved guarding Daboffin while he installed the Warp Decapitator to allow their fleet to teleport wherever the Mechanicus ships originated from. But things went sideways fast when a Mechanicus robot, or as the orcs called it, a tin boy, blew Boss Snazhammer's head clean off.
Yikes. So what happened to Ufthak?
Here's where it gets good. Ufthak seized his opportunity to demonstrate his worth after the demise of Snazhammer. He grabbed Snazhammer's signature weapon, the Snazhammer, and charged at the tin boy. He destroyed it in true orky fashion, but not without consequences. The severe explosion shattered his corpse into pieces before declaring him deceased.
Wait, so he died?
Not quite. Enter Mad Doc Drozfang, the orkiest surgeon you'll ever meet. Drozfang decided Ufthak deserved another shot at life because he was brave enough to take down the tin boy. So what did he do? Drozfang performed medical surgery by stitching Ufthak's head onto Snazhammer's body frame.
That's insane.
Insane, but effective. The beast returned from recovery with a more massive and powerfully built body. Mogro encountered a swift response from Ufthak after attempting to seize leadership rights when Ufthak was still recuperating. The problem was resolved immediately when one good hit of Ufthak's head cleared everything up.
Alright, so now Ufthak is a boss with a fancy new body. What's next?
Next comes his big break, or at least what should have been his big break. Ufthak took control of Snazhammer's mob before Da Mechlord led him to the Forge World Hephaesto. The mob expected amazing loot opportunities, but instead discovered a rival beat them to it.
Let me guess. More orcs?
Bingo! The pirates led by freebooter Captain Badruk successfully arrived at the location and started pillaging everything in front of them. Instead of fighting each other, which would have been very orky, Da Mechlord and Badruk agreed to share the spoils. Sort of.
Sort of?
Oh yeah. Da Mechlord told his boys to make sure there were plenty of accidents, so they'd get all the best loot anyway. Classic orc politics.
Okay, but how does this all lead to Kamara?
Patience. After Hephaesto, Ufthak started carving out a name for himself as a cunning and brutal leader, or as cunning as an orc can be. But the thing is, Da Mechlord wasn't satisfied with the lack of his loot, or big wins.
That is bad.
Exactly, for Dameklord had summoned him back for what appeared to be a solid dressing down or even worse. Itching to avoid his teeth being kicked in, Ufthak required just one huge score to get back in the good books.
And that's when he found Kamarach.
Sort of. His grot servant, Snaggy Littletooth, brought word to him of the Webway, mystical thoroughfares that went anywhere in the galaxy. Issue was, Ufthak had no means of opening one, till Demira Thraix marched down.
Who's Demira Thraix?
A Drukhari Archon with ambitions as sharp as her blades. She wanted to unite her rivals by unleashing an Orc Wa on Kamara itself.
She brought orcs into Kamara. That seems unwise.
Very unwise, but she thought she could control them. Spoiler alert, she couldn't. Once inside Kamara, Ufthak and his boys turned the Dark City into their personal playground of destruction.
But wait, you said something about gladiatorial combat earlier.
Ah, yes. Demira threw Ufthak into her flesh pits as part of her plan to rally support against her rivals. The display of Ufthak was her method to demonstrate complete control over the situation.
Big mistake.
Huge mistake. The battles that Tamara threw at Ufthak proved unsuccessful as he managed to survive every one of them, while using these victories to develop counterattacks and control Drukhari politics.
So let me get this straight. An orc outsmarted Drukhari Archons.
That's right. Ufthak evolved beyond simple destruction because he needed to employ strategic thinking even though he found it undesirable. The attempt by Demira to utilize him as a tool failed. Well, let's just say she underestimated how unpredictable orcs can be.
Okay, I have to know. Did he escape Kamara?
Oh, absolutely. The Warboss spread destruction through Kamara before successfully breaking loose from his capture, though he possibly garnered respect from his opponents in the process.
So what happened after that?
That's a story for another time, but let me tell you this. Ufthak Blackhawk isn't just any Warboss. He is proof that even in a galaxy full of superhumans and ancient aliens, you should never underestimate an orc.
If you want to learn more about Ufthak Blackhawk or want to get his mini, check out the affiliate link in the description.